All consciousness, including human, is solely based on sacred geometry because it is where we come from, where we are now, and where we are going. The fruit of life is the basis of all 13 informational systems, and that it is by superimposing male straight lines in unique ways over the female circles of the fruit of life that these systems are created. The first system created Metatron's cube, which generated the five platonic solids. These forms created structure throughout the universe. The second system, which we touched on lightly, was created by straight lines coming from the center of the fruit of life and concentric circles, thus creating the polar graph. This in turn created the star tetrahedron inscribed in a sphere, which is the basis of how vibration, sound harmonics, music, and matter are interrelated in all of creation. All levels of consciousness in the universe are integrated by a single image in sacred geometry. It is the key to time, space, and dimension, as well as consciousness itself. Even emotions and thoughts are based on sacred geometry. For each level of consciousness, there is an associated geometry that completely defines how that specific level of consciousness will interpret the one reality. Each level is a geometrical image or lens that spirit looks through to see the one reality, resulting in a completely unique experience. Even the spiritual hierarchy of the universe is geometrical in its structure, copying nature. The number 1 corresponds to the circle. The circle corresponds to the planet Neptune, known as Chokya, Chokma, and Ya, called by Pythagoreans as the monad and the absolute. It is the mother principle of creation. From this cosmic womb, all the other sacred geometries emerge. The rest of the geometric principles and shapes and numbers are born. The one is the circle, unbroken and unending, as well as the point at its center. It is the oneness that all creation comes from, the realm of infinite possibilities not yet distinguished into separate entities. In sacred geometry, the circle is the foundation from which all the other forms are built. Number 2 is the Vesica Piscis. The principle of the Vesica Piscis geometry is duality and polarity, and is the number of Uranus. The overlapping space between the two spaces of polarity is known as the cosmic womb, and is the father principle in creation. The process of polarity integration is the process of merging the duad from the extreme of opposite poles in an attempt to attract to each other, and so a merge may occur and return the poles into the state of balance and unity. The 2 is the line, created by the first movement of consciousness away from the single point of source. The line divides the circle, just as a cell splits in reproduction and creation begins. The 2 is duality, the perception of otherness through the one, which the one can understand itself. 3 is the triangle, the first shape to contain space and create a surface. The duality becomes multiplicity, and consciousness expands. There are many examples of the triad in nature: mind, body, spirit, past, present, future. Mother, father, child, sun, moon, earth. Length, breadth, depth. The 4 is the square, which offers support and stability through its even, balanced shape. The square is associated with the earth, the solid foundation we live on. There are many 4s in the manifest world: 4 seasons, 4 directions, 4 phases of the moon, 4 elements. The 5 is the pentagram, an ancient symbol of regeneration and transformation. It is also a symbol of the human form, with head, arms, and legs outstretched, welcoming experience. It is through our 5 senses that we navigate the material world. The 6 is the hexagon, 2 perfectly balanced, interlocking, equilateral triangles. It invokes the idea as above, so below, the meaning of spiritual reality with the material world. The 6 brings harmony, cooperation, and growth through balance. The 7 is the septagon, and is a male number, and is the number of desire, but also chaos. 8 is the octagon, the intermediate form between the circle, heaven, and the square, earth. As the 4 doubled, it is the number of ascension above the material world through spiritual perspective. The 8th step on the musical scale is the octave, which brings harmonic resonance and a sense of fulfillment. And finally, 9 is the enneagram. It is the completion of the creative cycle. It brings attainment, compassion, and vision for the future through the wisdom gleaned from the journey through the other numbers. However, the 9 is not an endpoint, but merely the closing of the circle, carrying us back to the 1 to begin the next evolution.